Hello and welcome. I'm Nikki Angeloni. I am a registered counsellor and psychotherapist with PACFA, the Psychotherapy and Counselling Federation of Australia. I'm also a registered meditation teacher with the Meditation Association of Australia and qualified yoga teacher. I'm here today to talk to you about gratitude and my guide, 3 different ways that you can practice gratitude. I truly believe that gratitude is a superpower, and by practicing gratitude, you cultivate contentment, a really deep inner sense of happiness inside. So that's what I'm here to share with you. There's 3 ways. The first one is by keeping a journal. So those of you that like to keep a journal or write, that might work for you. The second one is to flavor and savor an experience that you've had. And the third one I call applied gratitude, which is more in the moment. So the research has shown that practicing gratitude by considering 3 things you're grateful for each day for 21 days will increase mood or improve mood, support your relationships and build resiliency. The research also shows that those 3 things are different. So not the same 3 things every day. So 3 different things each day for 21 days. So your invitation is to give that a go and see how you feel at the end of the 21 days or the 3 weeks. So number 1, a gratitude journal. You might have seen this before. I just want to add a little bit to it. So you might have a book where you write down, and you can write it down in my PDF, 3 things that you're grateful for each day. But as you write one thing, just take a moment to consider why you're grateful for it. So it's not just grateful to have a family. I'm grateful for something else. Before you move on, just consider why that's important to you. Just to linger a little longer. Say, what's that about for me? It's about maybe feeling supported, feeling loved. And then move on to the next one. So doing 3 things like that. Maybe you include one of, I'm grateful that I had a lovely meal today. And why is that important? Maybe it's because I feel nourished or I'm getting enough nutrition. Whatever that is for you. So that is your number 1 practice, keeping a gratitude journal. 3 different things each day, writing them down and taking a moment to consider why. The second practice, which is my favorite, is called flavor and savor. It's really neat to have an experience and then flavor it and savor it with your sensory experience. So what does this look like? How I would suggest you could practice this is at the end of the day, lying down or sitting upright, to just scan through your day for something that you are grateful for. So my prompts for you is maybe it's an interaction with somebody else. And then maybe it's something that you've tasted or eaten. Third one, an element of nature. And the 4th one, yourself. So for the first one, having an interaction with somebody else, just take yourself back. Maybe there was a Zoom call, maybe there was a phone call, a text message, or you passed somebody in the street or saw someone face to face. Just take yourself back to that interaction. And you can flavor this and embellish this as much as you like. You can use your imagination to take yourself back there and fill the gaps if maybe you weren't as present as you could have been. As you take yourself there, you might imagine where you were, maybe what you were wearing, and bring your senses along. So what you could see, what you could hear, whether you were outside or inside. Maybe there was a smell or a taste, and what you were able to touch. So that might be one thing that you've had the experience, so you're reliving it for a moment in your mind's eye, your memory. You flavor it by taking yourself back there, bringing some attention to the detail and your senses. And then finally, you savor it. So you notice, what does it feel like in your body when you do that? And then stay with it. Ideally, if you can stay with that for 20 seconds, that would be good. This practice is inspired by Rick Hansen, and he suggests staying there for 20 seconds. And this is what helps to build the new neural pathway of scanning for the good. So do that. And then you might just do it with an interaction. If you just do it once a day, fantastic. But the research says 3. So then maybe it's that you had a sip of water that you can go back to and remembering a mouthful of water, cup of tea or coffee, maybe a mouthful of food, and take yourself back to that experience and have that again in your mind's eye, in your memory. Flavor it by taking your senses along. And then when you're there, just notice how it feels and savor that. And then doing that with perhaps an element of nature. If you go on a walk, maybe you saw some beautiful flowers or some dogs or the sky, whatever was happening today. Take yourself back there and relive it for a moment. And finally, yourself. Maybe there's something you did today that you might take a moment to just go back and acknowledge you achieved something or how you were behaving. And just flavor and savor that for another 20 seconds. So invitation, 1, 2, 3 is kind of our benchmark, or 4. And this is an opportunity to balance those scales of scanning for the good. So rather than reliving the negative all the time, which we so easily do go over in our head, let's just relive the positive more. And this trains our brain to scan for the good. Another practice, so that was the second one. The third one is what I call applied gratitude. And this is in the moment. So this might come after you've practiced the second one of flavoring and savoring. And you can also consider this in advance. You might think in the morning, what am I doing today and what am I happy about or grateful for? And if there's nothing, maybe you can plant something into your day that you can practice with. And when you're there, mindfully appreciating it. So maybe it is that you're going to go for a walk and you're going to take time to smell the roses, to just stop and notice. Maybe it's a leaf, maybe it's a tree or a plant, maybe it's the sky, maybe it's something else. But just in the moment, as you're going through your day, mindfully experiencing that and taking it in with your senses, being present with that element of nature, if that's what you choose. It could also be with food. There is so much benefit in appreciating our food. Traditional grace does not need to be religious. It can just be a moment, and before you take a mouthful or a bite of your food, just take a moment of appreciation for how that food's arrived in front of you, all that interconnectedness as humans. So flavoring and savoring, that's an opportunity every time you eat to practice. And then maybe you take a moment to appreciate somebody that you're working with or interacting with in the moment, or again, you might flavor it and savor it at the end of the day. But while you're there, maybe just noticing what you appreciate about this person that you're working with or interacting with, and focusing on the good. You might even tell them, maybe you pay them a compliment and just let them know how much you appreciate them. You can do that in the moment, or you might do it via a text or an email to let someone else know what you're grateful for or how much you appreciate them. So that is an application of gratitude. So the 3, if you like to keep a journal and write, keeping a journal. If you like to have a moment of reflection and go back to have that experience again, flavor it and savor it, or applied gratitude in the moment, just pausing. You might even do that just now. Just take a moment and look around. And maybe there is something that's beautiful that's around you, or something that's practical that you're really grateful for and appreciate having in your space. So I wish you well with this. If you've got any questions, please get in touch with me. If you'd like to work with me, I offer one-on-one counselling and mindfulness meditation sessions, also run mindfulness meditation courses for individuals and healthy habits programs. I think that's about it. I'm still teaching yoga classes, so if you're local to me, I'm in Bayside, Melbourne, you're always invited to join us as well. So stay in touch, connect with me through Instagram or through Facebook. Flourish Mindfully is my handle, and I hope that this is really supportive of you. I appreciate you signing up, and just give yourself a little nod that you're doing something good for you. Take care.